Welcome everyone, as it's now 9 a.m. We'll begin. So welcome everyone to the 18th Inclusive Insurance Training for Sub-Saharan Africa.
Let me call it during the course of the game then.
We will just mute those who are not speaking at the moment, if that's okay. Welcome everyone to the first day of the training and the live sessions. For today's training, we will focus on introductions from our side and from the three partners who helped to deliver this training. So the International Association of Insurance Supervisors, the IIS, the Toronto Centre and the Access to Insurance Initiative. Then for the first session, we will switch the focus of introductions from our side to your side, the participants. And then at 10:30, we'll begin with our first theme for the week, the introduction to inclusive insurance. This will be led by the programme leader, Andrea Camargo, who you will meet shortly. And the second part will also be joined by industry with RGA South Africa joining us. Before all of this, however, I'm pleased that we are joined by Manuela Zweimiller, Head of Implementation at the IIS. Manuela, welcome, and please go ahead. Oh, you're on mute, Manuela. Sorry.
Yeah, I think now you should be able to hear me. Okay, thank you so much, Pascal, for the nice introductory words. So good morning and a very warm welcome also from my side to everyone to this important training on inclusive insurance, with a particular focus on climate change and technology impact on insurance, for example, such as digitalization. Bonjour et bienvenue à tous à cette importante formation sur l'assurance inclusive avec un accent particulier sur le changement climatique et l'impact que la technologie pourrait avoir sur l'assurance, par exemple la numérisation. I'm very pleased to be able to join you this morning and to offer introductory words on behalf of the International Association of Insurance Supervisors. When the coronavirus hit last year, the IIS, like many organizations, had to make a quick transition towards organizing all our meetings and events in a virtual setting. And I'm therefore very proud that already for its second year, this training is taking place also in a virtual environment. From the feedback we have received so far, participants are benefiting in particular from the vivid discussions made also possible during the breakout rooms. The Inclusive Insurance Training Program is offered by our main implementation arm, the Access to Insurance Initiative, in partnership with the Toronto Centre. Many thanks to the A2I and Toronto Centre colleagues for their continuous commitment and fantastic contributions to make this training a not-to-be-missed event for the participants. Over the coming days, you will get the opportunity to not only understand supervisory practices to help the development of the inclusive insurance market, but also how supervisors can play a crucial and integral role in promoting financial inclusion. I hope this training will serve you as a good starting point to look at inclusive insurance in your country, and if you're already dealing with it, provides you with new food for thought and additional valuable information. And that it not only provides you with the technical knowledge, but also with the necessary tools on how to implement this knowledge in your daily work. And in this respect, the elements I would like to particularly mention is really the action planning that you will learn during the training, and also the case studies. They are very useful and valuable for all participants. I'm delighted to see so many participants joining us from across Sub-Saharan Africa and as well beyond this region. And this is certainly one of the advantages of virtual trainings. It broadens participation in these programs, and it is in itself inclusive. Please take this opportunity to ask questions and to also learn from your colleagues and peers and from their experiences. And it's important to emphasize that another aspect of the training is to also share challenges and lessons learned. We can all benefit from this. I trust that the combination of the 10 self-paced online training modules that complement the virtual training and the workshop that you are currently participating in. And the next 7 days will be productive and inspiring, and that you can take back home what you have learned, share it with your local colleagues, and implement it to transform the insurance markets in your respective jurisdictions into more inclusive ones. Once again, on behalf of the IIS, welcome and bienvenue. I wish you an interesting time over the coming days, and I'm convinced it will be a very successful training. Enjoy it.
Thank you, Manuela, and thank you for taking the time to join us today. And as Manuela mentioned, this training is in its 18th program, and over the years the training has evolved, most recently with the development of both the virtual training and also the Connect A2I platform for the self-learning modules. However, a constant has been our partner in delivering these trainings, and I will now hand over to Patricia Vargas, Program Director from the Toronto Centre. Patricia, please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Pascal, and thank you so much, Manuela, for your words. Actually, I'm going to make echo of your words, and it has certainly been a long-term relationship between A2AA, Toronto Centre, and AIS. It's been along a very productive relationship that we will have as we share common goals in our mission and our vision. Welcome everybody to our program. As Pascal mentioned, my name is Patricia Vargas. I'm a program director at Toronto Centre. It's a pleasure to meet you. We have a very exciting weeks planned for you, and our program leaders and the team are looking forward to working with you. In addition to Manuela's words, and as mentioned in recent programs, COVID-19 has highlighted 3 specific needs. One of them is the need of remote learning, this blending approach that we are taking the opportunity to have in this program. For example, taking the opportunity to learn from this excellent tool that A2AA have developed, the learning management system. But at the same time, we are here in a live session, sitting around the world. For example, I'm talking from my desktop in San Jose, Costa Rica. There are a lot of people in South Africa, even people in Europe. This is an advantage that we have in this learning and blending approach. Also, COVID-19 has highlighted the need of digital financial inclusion and appropriate gender-sensitive regulation and supervision. And finally, the need to address the effects of climate change related risks on insurance, economy, and in the industry in general. So during this program, we will discuss how to treat and address these challenges. So we will learn from the program leaders, but also, as Manuela mentioned, it's very important that we learn from each other and from our challenges, our own experiences in our countries. And I would like to invite you to participate actively during these days, to take this opportunity to share. I'm very happy to see all the comments on the forum. So I think that I have a really good sense that we will have a very productive weeks ahead of us. So again, welcome to the program and enjoy it. Thank you so much. Pascal, I'm back to you.
Thank you, Patricia and Manuela, for those warm words of welcome. Patricia is also one of our program leaders for this training, who will be joining you on a daily basis, as will our other 2 experts, Andrea Camargo and Michael Kofi-Andau. And I would now like to invite Andrea and Michael to introduce themselves. Please go ahead. Andrea, do you want to go first?
Sure. Thank you, Pascal. And good morning, good afternoon, everyone. I think that some of you are joining from Asia as well. So I'm very happy to join and see a lot of familiar faces. My name is Andrea Camargo. I am a Colombian lawyer. I am specialized in insurance law, and I have been working in this topic already for 20 years. And specifically in inclusive insurance, I have been working since 2008. I have had the pleasure of working with A2II since 2013. And since then, I have been supporting very actively and engaging with supervisory authorities from around the globe. Also, very importantly, I have been working from the perspective of the provider. So I have been working with reinsurance companies. I have been working with providers that probably you're familiar with, like the World Food Program, IFA, the Asian Development Bank, the African Development Bank. So I have seen, let's say, the concerns that supervisors have and how important it is to really address and balance those supervisory risks. But at the same time, I am very familiar with the complexities that providers and consumers have in all of this universe, let's say, of inclusive insurance. I'm very excited about this week and a half with you. I am more than excited of sharing my insights that I have gathered during these decades of work, but I am actually very excited about learning from you. I think that seeing the list that we have of attendance, you have more experience than anyone in inclusive insurance. So I think that this will be more like a platform of sharing. And yeah, I'm very happy to see what will happen during these weeks. So thank you very much. And I hand over to you, Pascal. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea, and we are equally excited as well. Kofi, am I okay to hand over to you?
Yes, thank you, Pascal, and hello to everybody. Unfortunately, where I am, it's difficult to turn on my video, but I would manage to say a few things to all of you. So my name is Michael Kofi Ando. I work for the National Insurance Commission. That is the insurance regulatory authority here in Ghana. I've been working with the National Insurance Commission since 2000, and I'm very happy to be one of your program leaders for the next 7 days. I am an accountant and an insurer by profession, and I have mainly been in insurance supervision at the NIC. I was involved in the design and implementation of Ghana's microinsurance regime and some other projects. I have also been working with the A2I for some time and with the Toronto Center as well. And for some of you I have met before, this will not be our first time. I hope that we will engage and, as Andrea has said, exchange ideas and how we can all improve inclusivity, insurance inclusivity in our various jurisdictions across Sub-Saharan Africa. So it is my pleasure, and I look forward to engaging with you during the week. Thank you.
Thank you, Kofi. And Patricia, do you want to give a brief, I know you gave a brief introduction to the Toronto Centre, but do you want to give a brief introduction to yourself as well? Mute.
Yes, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear the last part.
Do you want to give a brief introduction to yourself? I know you gave an introduction to the Toronto Centre, but do you want to?
Yes, actually, I have been working with Toronto Centre for 1 year. Before I joined Toronto Centre, I worked for the insurance supervisor in Costa Rica for 9 years. I was in charge of implementing the risk-based supervision approach. So I think that I have a lot of experiences, challenges that I had in my own jurisdiction that I could share with you. I have a bachelor's degree in economics and also a master's degree in finance, but also I have been very interested in studying informally anthropology. So I think that all this knowledge and my experience could add some value to the program. But at the same time, as Kofi and Andrea mentioned, I'm eager and very enthusiastic about learning from you and sharing my experiences and your experiences. That's very important for the program. So thank you.
Thank you, Patricia. And as you've all heard, the program leaders joining us this week are experts both in inclusive insurance and regulation. So really take this opportunity to learn from them over the next week and a half. You'll equally be supported throughout this training by myself and my colleagues. Our names should be fairly familiar to some of you as we've been answering your queries over the last few weeks. But my name is Pascal Nam, advisor at the A2I, and I will hand over to my colleagues to introduce themselves as well.
Hi everyone, my name is Rochelle Jung and I'm really happy to be supporting this training because I know it's really valuable for us as an organization and for the insurance supervisors that we're able to meet and learn from as well. So I'll be signing in under Secretariat and managing the meetings and the breakout sessions, as well as answering your questions by email. So I'm really glad to see everyone here and look forward to getting to know you more this week and next week. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Dunya Latinovic, and I'm actually the communications manager for the A2II. I find it very exciting to be part of this training and to support Pascal and Rochelle in all the activities that are ahead of us. And I look forward to some interaction with you as well. So you'll be seeing me from time to time log in and help out whenever necessary. Thank you.
Thanks, Dunya and Rochelle. And as I've mentioned, we'll be joining you on a daily basis. And if you do have any queries or problems during the training, then please just drop us an email. And that you can contact us via our personal email addresses, which are on this slide and which we'll share in the chat, but also through the connect@a2i.org as well. Before we begin, just a quick reminder that there are 3 stages to this training. So stage 1 is the self-paced learning modules. These are the online modules, and you can, and a lot of you have already, been accessing them through connect.a2i. Please, we do encourage you to complete these ahead of the live sessions. And we have noticed that some of you have not started on these yet or started on the homework. So we will be in touch with you to find out if there are any technical problems on your side. Stage 2 is obviously these live training sessions, and they will be taking place now from today until the 12th of October next week. And stage 3 is the country action plans that you will develop and present at the end of the training. You should be prepared to set aside 47 hours. This includes the live training sessions. And during your own time, we have estimated 13 hours for the 10 online modules and 6 hours for the action planning. At the end of the training, you will be issued a Toronto Centre certificate, but this will be on the basis of the 10 modules being completed and full participation in the live training sessions, and action plans also being submitted and presented. These trainings are high in demand, and therefore we do have expectations on you as the participants. It's an opportunity, as Manuela said earlier, it's an opportunity for you to ask questions and engage from the program leaders as well as your peers. But there are quite simple expectations, and also all for your own benefit mainly. So firstly, please find a quiet space to do the training. If you are in an open plan office where colleagues are nearby, you will not be able to fully engage, and due to background noise, it might be more challenging for you to engage with the other program leaders and the participants. Also, when you sign in, and actually the majority of you have all done this, but please sign in with your name. Some people sign in with numbers. Please try not to do this. It's easier for us to identify who you are. If we can't properly identify you, there is a risk that we will just remove you from the training. As I mentioned earlier, we encourage discussion and engagement during these live sessions. Therefore, we expect all the participants to engage and in the live sessions and in the breakout rooms as well. You will have set breakout rooms and you will be expected to give feedback on behalf of your group. For this reason, we also ask you to be prepared to unmute and turn on your camera. If for one reason or another you cannot unmute or you cannot switch on your camera, that's not a problem. We do have a chat box available on the right-hand side, and some of you have already started introducing yourselves there, but please do use this as well to interact with your peers. For any technical problems, contact us, the A2I Secretariat, or in the breakout rooms, please type A2I Secretariat in the chat and we will come. And finally, this is important during the live sessions. When the program leaders are presenting, please do not take control of the slides. If you do take control of the slides, please just do not press stop sharing. We will take back control of the slides. It's not a problem. It happens regularly. We're very used to it. So please don't panic and press stop presenting. It's fine. We will take back control. We'll now move on to our first session of the day, and this is now your opportunity to engage with us and your peers. And we would like for people, therefore, to unmute themselves and switch on your cameras. And let us know who you are and what you are looking to get out of this training. We know some people can be a little bit shy, so what we will do is we'll begin in alphabetical order on the basis of countries, because there's a few of you joining us from different countries. So I will begin actually with Ethiopia, if that's okay. We have Wandemir. Wandemir, are you okay to open your video and unmute? Okay, there may be technical problems there. Because Wandemir was here, but not happening. Hello? Okay, we'll move on to Gambia then. Hamza, are you able to? If it's easier for some people, please introduce yourselves in the chat.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, good morning.
Hi. Morning, this is Murad Hamami from Tunisia, from the Insurance General Committee. I'm Insurance General Supervisor. I joined the Insurance General Committee since 1997, and actually I'm working with the collaborating with the General Directorate of the Legislation and Studies. So I'm really excited to attend this this workshop, and I'm really thankful for this opportunity, during which I'm hoping to interact with all our colleagues from Sub-Saharan and exchange experiences in the inclusive insurance matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Murad.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
My name is Robson Mtangadura. I'm in charge of actuarial and research at Insurance and Pensions Commission in Zimbabwe. Being a numbers person, I'm very excited to join this training. I'm looking forward to robust engagement and discussions, and coming out with the effective ways in terms of how to make insurance accessible to all. Thank you.
Thank you, Robson, and we're equally looking forward. There's quite a few of you from Zimbabwe, actually. Do your Zimbabwean peers also want to introduce themselves?
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
My name is Lloyd Gumbo. I'm the Manager Public Relations at the Insurance and Pensions Commission here in Zimbabwe. I'm also responsible for consumer education and championing financial inclusion, particularly insurance and pensions inclusion. I'm very excited to be participating in this workshop. It will equip me with the knowledge in terms of how we can enhance awareness in terms of insurance and pensions awareness, as well as the uptake of insurance and pensions. So thank you very much. I look forward to the training.
You're welcome.
Good morning, everyone.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Tariro Matei Sanwa. I'm also from the Insurance and Pensions Commission in Zimbabwe. We are recently moving towards, increasing our focus on market conduct supervision. And I'm the manager that is responsible for market conduct supervision. So I'm really excited. I looked at the modules, part of the training that is going to be done. And it is focusing on issues to do with market conduct. So I'm hoping to gain, insights on how we can effectively implement market conduct supervision as an organization. Thank you.
Thank you and welcome. And we're equally looking forward to your expertise as well, to hearing about your expertise and your experiences in your countries as well. Who wants to go next?
Hi, I'm Stella. I'm from the National Insurance Commission, Ghana. I look forward to engagements. Hi, this is me. Because of network quality, I'm going to go off now. I just turned on the camera so you can see my face. I'm looking forward to engagement from other participants. I'm looking to learn more about inclusive insurance, inclusivity, gender equality, climate change, and how I can also help promote inclusive insurance and insurance coverage in Ghana. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Stella. We also have Abdul from Ghana as well. Abdul, are you there? And we have a hands up from Safwana. Safwana, do you want to go next?
Yeah. Hello, everybody. My name is Safwana from the Financial Services Commission of Mauritius. I've been working in the insurance cluster for over 13 years. And looking at the module, I'm very keen to learn more about climate change risk and also how innovation and technology can help me further in my supervisory functions. So, and also looking forward to participate with everyone out there. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Safwana. We're looking forward to your participation. Shanice, do you want to go next? I see your hands up.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Shanice Woodley. I'm from South Africa, from the Prudential Authority. I've recently joined the Prudential Authority. I'm a supervisor of foreign branches, and most recently, I'm 2 micro-insurers. And yeah, as a person that's new to industry, I'm very excited to engage with the participants in this training and learn from everybody and engage further and upskill myself. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Shanice, and we're equally looking forward to your participation as well. We have quite a few people from South Africa, actually. I think Peter, have you just switched on your video as well? I think you might be on mute.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Velas Peter is my surname. I'm also actually from South Africa, part of the insurance supervisors within the team. Yes, I think from my side, I'm actually excited to be part of this course. I think my, the interest that I want to actually gain is really on the climate change and the use of technologies. But I also I'm really also wanting to interact, with the rest of the colleagues around inclusive insurance in terms of the experiences from the different jurisdictions. And hopefully, we can be able to also, take one or two things, from the team, to South Africa.
Thanks, Mavadasi, and we're also looking forward to your contribution as you're heavily experienced as well. Sharon, are you? Hi, Sharon.
Good morning, colleagues. I'm very happy to be here today. I'm also from South Africa, from the Prudential Authority within the South African Reserve Bank. I am an insurance supervisor as well. I joined the Prudential Authority on the 1st of January 2019. And prior to that, I worked in the insurance industry for a long time. I'm looking forward to connecting with my colleagues and learning from their experiences as supervisors. I'm also hoping to gain and enhance my technical knowledge through the training. And then I'm also looking forward to learning, more about trends in the regulatory space that enhance financial inclusion. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Sharon. And who do we want next? Who would like to go next?
Hi,
Lucy?
Edwin.
Oh, hi, Edwin.
Yes, this is Edwin Mulenga from Malawi, the only participant from my jurisdiction, but I hope I will benefit for the sake of my colleagues. I work as a principal examiner in life insurance, having worked as a principal examiner in the pension supervision for some time. We recently, as a country, published regulations on inclusive insurance, but we did not implement. So we are about to start collecting data next year in January. So we are at that stage whereby we are developing data collection tools, more especially targeting funeral plans. So this training has come at the right time so that we get the best of how we can best design our data collection tools, and at the same time get networks with the people who are already advanced so that we learn more on how best we do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Edwin. And I know you're very familiar with the A2I, and you know a few of my colleagues on the line as well.
Yes, so glad to see the familiar faces. Thank you.
We're glad that you're joining us too. I have a hand up from Lucy. Lucy, do you want to take the floor?
Yes, so my name is Lucy Mundi. From Kenya. I work at the Insurance Regulatory Authority as an actuarial officer. I've been here for, I think, over 1 year. Before that, I have experience in the insurtech sector, where I've worked in West Africa, trying to, under different projects, companies. I look forward to this training, especially to learn how users of technology can be able to advance the notion of inclusive insurance, especially right now in Kenya, where microinsurance is given the recent legislation that has been passed. So yeah, I look forward to interacting with all of you and the discussions that you're going to have. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Lucy. And we have quite a few participants from Kenya as well. Do the other participants, Donald, in particular, do you want to unmute and introduce yourself?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dharmanan. And,
hi, good morning.
Good morning. My name is Poyo Dharmanan from Insurance Supervision of Mauritius Financial Services Commission. For the last 8 years, I have an accountancy background, and I am very thankful to be part of this interactive training session, and I look forward to engage with my fellow colleagues. fellow colleagues to discuss on the climate risk subject matter. Thank you.
Thank you, and we're looking forward to your participation too. I have a hand up from Harry. Harry from Madagascar.
Thank you. My greetings for everyone. I'm Harry from Madagascar. I'm working within the Ministry of Finance, responsible for the financial sector. My department was previously in charge of the supervision of the insurance sector, which will be definitively transferred to the central bank, following the publication of the new law of insurance. Currently, the ministry would like to have a policy allowing the development of this sector. That's why I'd like to learn from this program how to do in order to increase, for example, insurance penetration rate, which is still weak in my country. How to persuade the authorities to undertake activities to achieve this. My country faces also climatic risks, and I expect from this program to depend how to develop index insurance products. All I can say for now, thank you.
Thank you, Harry. And we're looking forward to your participation too. Who's next? Who wants to go next? We still have quite a few of you who have still to introduce yourselves. Perhaps I can start with Cynthia. Are you there? You able to unmute?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Cynthia.
Let me just. So good morning. My name is Cynthia Ayero Mtibuka. I work with the Insurance Regulatory Authority of Uganda, and this training is really important to me because I work with here the IRA. I work under the agriculture insurance, which would be our climate risk section. So I head that section here, running the subsidy between the government and the industry. Also for the fintech, we have managed to start our sandbox. So that's why this training is very important, because we'd like to see how we can improve on what we have already here and make it better, and also learn from what others are doing. So we have something to compare. So that's why I'm really happy to be here, and I look forward to hearing about other people's experiences and how we can improve on what it is that we have. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cynthia. And technology is one of our main themes during this training, so you will probably hear a lot of experiences on the sandbox in particular as well. Who wants to go next? Please don't be shy. If you want to introduce yourselves in the chat, then feel free to, and I can read out your names and what your expectations are from the training, if that's easier for some of you. Donald, please go ahead.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Donald Dwere. I work with the Insurance Regulatory Authority in Kenya. I'm so glad to be part of this discussion, and I look forward to an awesome experience with everyone on board. Thank you.
Thank you, and likewise, we're looking forward to your participation. Hi, Edwin. Do you want to introduce yourself to the participants and the program leaders?
Hello, you. No, I was just responding to Dunya's message. Sorry.
Oh no, that's fine. Do you want to introduce yourself as well? Oh, you've already introduced yourself. Sorry.
Yes, I did. Sorry. Yeah, as I indicated,
No
I'm the
worries.
only participant from the Reserve Bank of Malawi. Yeah.
Okay. Is there anybody else that wants to introduce themselves? If not, then as we're finishing slightly earlier than previewed, we do have time for questions. I'm aware that some people are having some issues with their modules. So if people would like to ask any questions now, then we do have 10 minutes available for that. Otherwise, we can break early. We can have an earlier break than previewed. And perhaps actually we can all see how familiar you all are with MS Teams. If people would like to break early, maybe they can raise their hands and we can have an early break, or we can already begin with our session 2 for the day. So raise your hand if you'd like to go to a break. To raise your hand, you just need to go to the top bar at the beginning and you'll see a list of emojis. I will also vote. I would quite like to have a break. At the moment, only 8 people. Oh, no, 8 people have voted for a break. But I think we're outnumbered by everybody else. So it looks like we will move to our second session earlier than planned. Well, welcome everybody. We're really looking forward to your participation. And what I suggest that we do, Andrea, if it's okay with you, is that we begin with your session and then we break just before the breakout rooms, if that's easier.
Yeah, perfect. That's what I was thinking. Okay. Excellent. Thanks, Pascal. I will take control then of the slide. Perfect. Well, as I mentioned before, I have had the opportunity to meet some of you before, and I found so interesting about this training that a lot of the countries that are represented in this in the attendance, the different levels of development of inclusive insurance. I think that we're going to learn a lot on this. And this session actually is very introductory. So we want to make sure that we're speaking the same language, basically. We're going to make sure that we're speaking about the same concepts through this week and a half. So I'm going to pick up some of the elements that you have seen already during the recorded session. And the first one is actually the concept of the training. So if we look at the concept, it's about inclusive insurance. And effectively, we have this focus on digitalization, on technology, and on climate. But the concept of inclusive insurance is a broad concept. And I think that some of you have already shared some of your thoughts through the forum of the A2II Connect. And I see that most of you agree that actually inclusive insurance is a concept that is quite broad. So it's a concept that really embeds all type of insurance products that are tailored or targeted to the unserved and underserved market. These compared to a concept that I know that you're very familiar with as well in your jurisdictions, which is the concept of microinsurance. And microinsurance specifically is a concept that has been used more focused on a specific target market, and in this particular case we have always referred to the low income population who generally suffer certain types of exclusion elements that lead to this lack of access to insurance. So having said that, this training really looks at inclusive insurance. But something that you're going to see along the training is that we bring a lot the emerging consumer, and sometimes the unserved and underserved population actually could be the low-income population in your country. So there's like some overlapping sometimes with the concept of microinsurance. So we're going to try to untangle all of these during this training, but just wanted to flag that. Now, as I said, I see that a lot of you already have developed regulations on specifically microinsurance, mobile insurance. You have already engaged in some changes on your regulatory framework on insurance. For instance, our colleague Henry from Madagascar was sharing that recently the insurance law was reformed. And there are like some integrations, a reference to microinsurance and inclusive insurance. So I would like to maybe ask a question to start with. What were the motivations in your countries to engage with inclusive insurance? What are the reasons why you think that inclusive insurance is relevant in your jurisdiction? And maybe from the top of your mind, you will think, well, actually, I think that the reason why this is relevant for my country, actually, this is the same reason might be valuable, for instance, for Ghana. But actually, I would like really to emphasize that different countries have different reasons in order to get engaged into this idea of promoting inclusive insurance in each of your countries. So I would like to start with that. I know that sometimes this is the first day and you might be a little bit shy sharing some of these elements live. But for those who want to raise their hand and answer, I really encourage you. Otherwise, for you, you could do it as well through the chat. So this question, I think, is very relevant. So why is inclusive insurance relevant in your jurisdiction? If you see in the slide, there are different reasons. So I would like to encourage some of you to share. I might ask some people directly, and if I may, I maybe will ask Meblase from South Africa, because you have a very particular market, very involved. You have like really engaged into conversations on inclusive insurance for a long time. So based on what we have on our screens, Meblase, what do you think that have been the reasons that have really pushed you and also the FCA to move forward with the topic of inclusive insurance?
Thanks. Good morning, Andrea. I hope you are well. I guess I think from a South Africa perspective, we have, a history in general of the people, the people from the low income market who were actually not insured or underinsured. So one of the primary reasons for us, to be pushing with inclusive insurance is actually to increase the safety net of insurance to the vulnerable people. That's really the primary reason. And also, I think from a SA perspective, there is a second element of inclusive insurance where we also want to bring in new risk carriers, to the fore. But previously, we actually used to have, the big multinational or, the old mutuals and the Sanlam. So we actually also wanting to bring new players into the market, as part of this inclusive insurance. So it's actually both from a customer and also from a risk carrier perspective.
That's very interesting, because sometimes when we discuss these topics about like the reason behind pushing inclusive insurance, we sometimes focus really mostly on the customer side. And effectively, we don't take measures, or we don't see as a priority to more supply, more possibility of risk carriers. Well, we could pushing a lot the customer, but we won't be able how to cater that need of the customer. So that's very interesting, Meplace. Thank you very much for sharing. Anyone else? Because,
Thanks,
well,
Andrea.
thank you. Edwin, yes, tell us about Malawi.
Yes, thank you. The objectives of the inclusive insurance in Malawi, they are not far from what Veras has mentioned for South Africa. Initially, it came about because of the idea of supporting the national strategy on financial inclusion. So the big question was, how can insurance support or facilitate financial inclusion? So that's how issues of inclusive insurance came in, and it has to be developed. And again, we have the mandate of market development. So because we need to develop the market, we're looking at ways in which we can introduce new products. Then inclusive insurance came in. And then we are also looking at the majority, over 80% of the Malawians, these are low-income earners. I mean, some do not have this regular income or revenue that they can use to pay these regular premiums. So said, what kind of products can be designed for this for this segment of population? So then insurance inclusive came in. So that's what I can contribute at the moment. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Edwin. So we see that effectively financial inclusion was really the reason to go ahead with that, but also based on what you mentioned, like economic development and growth might be there in order to push those populations who might not have a social protection floor. So that's very helpful. I see Lloyd as well. Yeah, Lloyd, please share with us your experience.
Thank you, Andrea. For us, just like South Africa and Malawi, we probably have the same reasons, but the other key focus area is agriculture insurance, particularly targeting the smallholder farmers. The majority of our population, which is about 60%, they reside in the countryside, and their major source of income or subsistence is agriculture. So given the impact of climate change and how this has affected even their yield, it's critical that we have a solution to the problems of climate-induced shocks or risks. So we believe this is a key focus area that can help, particularly smallholder farmers. These farmers, they don't have much information about insurance. They probably have limited knowledge about how insurance can help them mitigate the risks associated with climate change. So coming up with a solution to these challenges, we believe will help these smallholder farmers, by making sure that they have, risk mitigatory measures instead of just leaving them to be at the mercy of climate change induced shocks. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lloyd. That's very interesting. And as you can see, we're seeing that the insurance becomes very relevant in each country because of their particularities. So we hear in the case of Malawi, financial inclusion was very relevant. In the case of the South African market, that is a market that has been like moving forward with inclusive insurance for a while. We see that that's a component, but actually here is more like about, okay, less increase as well, risk carriers. Let's make sure that there is enough infrastructure to promote insurance. And in Zimbabwe, well, as in other countries as well that are participating, effectively insurance is seen as a tool to really tackle and really address those elements on climate change and like all these elements we're going to talk about. But it's very important to see that's a focus. Anyone else I would like to share? And I think that a lot of these countries who are participating in this training might relate a lot with like what Lloyd mentioned, no? I think that Every mentioned before as well, that was a motivation in Madagascar to really move forward with inclusive insurance. Maybe, I don't know, someone else, otherwise I maybe will call Abdul from Ghana, if you would like to share that it's a different market with like a very involved, but also maybe at this point you might have some specific reasons of why inclusive insurance should be pushed. I don't know if Abdul, you're still here, or someone else from Ghana, like Estela. Well, you managed to solve some technical issues. Maybe I would like to invite our colleague Murad Hamami from Tunisia. I know that you have been always in the process of engaging in modifying your regulatory framework in order to make it more enabling, let's say, for inclusive insurance. So why in Tunisia specifically inclusive insurance is relevant?
Hello.
Hi, Murad.
Hi, Andrea. Yeah, actually, you know, the Tunisia started since 2018 the strategic study on the financial inclusion. So, and they realized during those studies conducted that only 27% of the population were either using financial system. However, most of for example, in terms of insurance, sorry.
No worries. Okay, well, we will get back to you, Murad, and then in the meantime, I'm going to continue. I'm just going to conclude here that there are different reasons why each country mobilize the efforts in order to advance inclusive insurance. But I want to highlight that all these reasons are interlinked, and that means that not only the supervisor authority by itself will be relevant in promoting this agenda, but also, as you can see, all these areas really are related with public policies, where ministries of agriculture, ministries of finance, ministries of environment, social protection, etc., will be engaged. So I want us to take this zoom out, because it will be very relevant for the conversations. And now I'm going to just move to a poll that we're going to do today. So I don't know if we can launch it. So we see that effectively each country has its reasons. Some of the countries might have like similar ones, but something that really, well, the reason why we are here is that even though this is a priority, there are still barriers in each of these countries, in each of your countries, in order to move forward with inclusive insurance. So the question that I wanted to ask you, and I know that some of you already shared some of your thoughts in the forum, is like, in your countries, what are the main barriers to inclusive insurance? What are the reasons why you feel that effectively still you haven't reached to that level of penetration to certain segments of the population? Is this related because of the offer, because of the supply, because maybe there are not insurance companies that are interested, maybe distribution channels are not very close to these segments of the population, the products are not valuable, or is maybe because the population do not see insurance as a product of relevance, because there is not really a positive experience with it, there is no trust, or is because maybe the government doesn't see insurance as a tool that will build resilience and will help us to achieve those elements that I mentioned before. Or maybe you think that the reason is actually the regulatory framework that still might be a little bit stringent and therefore doesn't really allow innovations that are generally important for inclusive insurance. So I think that we have the poll open. Yeah, so you could see in the chat, there is a question: what are the main barriers to inclusive insurance in your country? So as I said, demand are those that relate with the consumer, the potential consumers. It's about perception, affordability, about trust. Then in supply is about who offers, do they have the interest, the skills to do that, regulation, all of the above, of other. I see already 3. Please let us know if you have any issues answering the poll, because we are like testing as well. And we're going to use these tools like a lot during this training. So it would be great to see if you can use them actively. So I repeat, the poll is in the chat, no? So I see that if 6, we have had already 6 responses. We have supply like winning the contest, and also all of the above. I would like maybe to ask some of those who have already responded, if you would like to share why supply and why all of them. Yeah, so if you can tell us a little bit about your jurisdiction and why is this an obstacle, that would be great. Estela, if you go to the chat, so on the top of the screen, there might be like a sign of chat. You just click it and you will see it on the right. Yeah, I think that we can send you a screenshot so you can see specifically where you can find it. So anyone? Remember that these trainings are really to share your experiences. I was very interested to hear during these presentations at the beginning of the session that one of the things that you wanted to really learn was like examples from other countries. So this is the moment. Safwana, yes, from Mauritius. Yeah, please share with us. Safwana?
Hello.
Hi. Do you like to share?
Yes, I would like to share a bit about the situation in Mauritius regarding inclusive insurance. So for us, the issue is more with regards to the supply. Why? Because our insurance companies have not yet come up with such types of products. For instance, I'll tend to think about those farmers like our friend just mentioned. Here also we have issues regarding climate risk, and our insurers have not yet proposed products that would be interesting for those in agriculture. Another type of issue is regarding the health insurance product for the low-income population. Actually, we have our health system, which is free here. So most people would tend to go to the public hospital, but there is also an issue regarding the health insurance product that insurance companies propose. It is highly priced and not accessible to everyone. So for me, the issue would be like insurance companies don't come with products that are adaptive for all segment of the population.
Thank you. And you think that this is because they don't have the skills to do so? Maybe because they don't have the information, or they don't see that actually it makes financially a lot of sense for them to start catering the needs of this segment? What do you think are the main reasons that these insurers have?
I think that the main reason would be it would not be financially viable for them to go for such type of market. And like I was mentioning, we do have a free access to health here, but of course some people would choose to go in private clinics and hospitals. So even that, the type of healthcare that you would get in the private and the public is not the same. So if the insurance companies would come up with a product that would be accessible to everyone, like less inclusion, lesser premium, so I think everybody would be able to have access, but it's not viable for them financially. This I can be sure.
Yes, no, that's a very important element, and I really want us to really keep it on top of our minds, because when we're trying to discuss these topics of inclusive insurance effectively, we want to make sure that the products are like really suitable for the consumer, that consumers are effectively protected, that the products really solve problems and needs from the consumers. But at the same time, we need to really look at the supply side. And what you're saying is very important, because if they don't see the business case behind this, it will be very difficult for them to get involved in this kind of sector. So this kind of engagement with the insurance sector is very important with that. And we're going to discuss during this training as well that actually making like appealing products, it's really the basis of the business case of insurance, of inclusive insurance. So we're going to look at this more in depth during this session, but very, very, very well. I really appreciate what you just shared. I think that some people are having some issues with the poll. So as I mentioned, if you go to the chat, if you scroll up, you will see it, because we have already some conversations there, so you might not see it right now. But scroll up a little bit and you will see that is quite big, actually, the title, and it has like the logo of the A2II. So yeah. Otherwise, what we'll do is during the chat, we can like put a screenshot so you can identify very quickly. Well, thank you very much. I think that that's very helpful, and you see how diverse actually are the reasons why inclusive insurance might not be developing as you wish in your jurisdictions. So I know that we have the break, and after the break, we're going to do an activity where actually you're going to discuss more thoroughly these obstacles in each of your countries. So I will explain very quickly the idea of the activity. So when we get back, we can start. So the goal actually is that you will have the opportunity to learn some of the obstacles of Malawi, Ghana, Zimbabwe, Mauritius, etc. And you're going to find out how different they might be. So you are going to identify some specific obstacles, depending on the group, will be demand, supply, public policies, regulation and supervision. You're going to select the top 4 of these barriers. I'm sure that there will be like a very nice discussion between all of the participants of the group. You're going to have 20 minutes to talk about it. So you will select the top 4, and the idea is that you're going to present it afterwards. So we're going to have a discussion of like more or less 15 minutes, maybe a little bit more, because I think that we have a little bit of time today. So you can tell us a little bit what is resisting inclusive insurance in your countries, and we can actually then really focus on those elements during this training. So with that, I think that probably we can go to the coffee break. I don't know if maybe we want to make sure, maybe, I don't know, Pascal, if we could share the screen and maybe show to the participants how to locate the poll. So I see that we have had only 10 responses. What do you think?
Yeah, we can keep the poll live during the coffee break. And if actually, it'll probably be a 10-minute coffee break. And what we can do is, if people are still having problems accessing the polling, we can try and help those people during the coffee break. If that's helpful.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to leave there, and if you don't see it right now, please scroll up, because you will be able to see it.
Yeah. If people see the top row where it says near to the participants in the chat box. There's also polls. People should be able to click on the chat box, which is a speech bubble, and the polls should come up. It should also come up on your main screen as well.
Yeah.
But what I suggest is that we go to a coffee break. And actually, this will be a 10-minute coffee break, so please come back at 10:20. And as Andrea said, we'll then put you into breakout rooms for the breakout session.
Thank you. And please keep sharing as well in the chat. That's very helpful. I see that there's a lot of discussion already there. Okay. We'll see you at 10:10 then.
10:20, 10:20.
Yes, like 20 minutes of break.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
And we're on the line in case there are any more technical problems as well.
Is there a question from Safwana?
I think actually that's an old hand from previously when she was just discussing the inclusive insurance in their country. Welcome back, everyone. The coffee break is now finished. Can I just check that all of you are able to access the chat box? We're having some reports that some people don't have access to the chat box. So the chat box should be at the top, and then everybody should see a speech bubble. It's a round circle with 2 lines in it, essentially. And if you click on that, the chat box should appear. If people are having problems with the chat, I will post something in the chat, but also we'll send an email at the end of today, just asking if people can see. Hi Stella. Asking if people can see the chat box, because I realise that's quite an important feature, especially for those of you who can't necessarily unmute, and also for the polling as well. If there are no issues or no further issues with the chat box, Safwana, can I just check? Oh, Lucy, your hand is up. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I can't see the chat box icon on the app, but it's working on my browser. But now my browser has a bit of delays when Andrea is speaking. I think I'm having a bit of technical issues, yeah.
Lucy, are you able to download the MS Teams app, or is that not possible?
So I'm currently accessing this training. I'm currently using the app, but I can't see the chat box icon. But now if I go to my browser, that's when the chat box icon appears on the page.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, but there's a delay.
Yeah, but now there's a delay when I'm using my browser. So I don't know what's the issue.
Okay.
That is a bit strange. Perhaps you could quickly close out Teams and restart the app and come back and let us know if that might solve the issue.
Oh, I've tried doing that and no.
Okay, thanks for letting us know. Perhaps this is some temporary issue with Teams, as it has happened to a few of you right now, and it's not something we've encountered before. So that's good to know that if you join through the browser, you might be able to see the chat. I think you can have the video meeting open in the app, but still access the chat through the browser. That might be an option. And hopefully, if it is something from Microsoft Teams side, they might resolve it soon.
Could we try in the admin center to allow chat to participants and guests in the meeting settings?
I just checked the options, and the chat is enabled for everyone, I believe. I don't think there's a separate setting for guests or not.
Sorry, Pascal, could you try sending the link to the poll? Maybe see if it will reflect.
The poll is still open, but if you can't access the chat, you may not be able to participate. Perhaps Andrea would like to gather any answers by email, or if there's time, you could speak up. but depending on time, we may want to move on to the breakout sessions and collect further answers in the forum or email. I'll defer to Pascal and Andrea then on our options.
Yeah, I think during the activity, everyone will have the opportunity to discuss this, so that's fine. But maybe let's try, once we get back from the discussion, maybe let's launch again the poll to see if everyone can see it now, and otherwise we'll try to solve the issue between today and tomorrow. Okay, so let's start then with the activity. As I mentioned, you will be grouped in 4 breakout sessions. The room 1 will be focusing on the barriers on demand. So the idea is that you really go through all the members of the group and discuss which are the main activities, and then you select the top 4 and you present those. Group 2 will focus on supply, Group 3 on public policies, and Group 4 on regulation and supervision. Maybe an important element is like we want everyone to be very active. So someone in the group who will appoint one person who will take notes and who will be in charge of presenting at the end of the discussion. So I think that that's it, or anything else, Pascal, I missed before the breakout session?
No, that's it. We will be sending links to the templates, so you'll have instructions within your breakout rooms, so don't need to note these down. But just what would be helpful is if we will put this in the chat now, but if you could just note down, so we will, Group 1 is barriers, Group 2 is supply, Group 3 is public policies, and Group 4 is regulation and supervision. Each breakout room will have a program leader with you in it, so if you forget which group is responsible for what, the program leader will be able to assist. Are there any questions? If not, then Rochelle, if you're ready, I think we can put participants into the breakout rooms.
Okay, thanks, Pascal. I was just wondering, do you have the link, or do you need me to send it?
Could you send the link if that's okay?
Yes, I will. Okay, I'll start the breakout rooms now, and then
I think I know it says 15 minutes, but because we've got a bit of extra time, we can actually make it 20 minutes for each breakout.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
All right, members, I think we've done well. We finished recommendation 29, and it's exactly 11:30. So if you could kindly take a 15-minute break, you come and thrash out the remaining 10 recommendations.
we are crashing all 10.
Yes.
And there was an order which we had put them in. I don't know who recorded them, but I think the order was we do 30, 31, 32. Then we're going to jump 33, 34, 35.
Sorry, repeat that again.
We have done 29. So we're going to do 30, 31, 32.
Hello, Faisal, are you there?
Hello?
Hi, I think we're back in the main room.
Yes.
Great. Okay. Well, thank you very much for the discussions. I'm sure that you had some fun as well, because I think that these topics are really, I don't know, connect you as well. You will see that there are a lot of similarities in some of the countries. So maybe let's start with the group 1. I think that was my group. So I will hand over to Shanice to share the barriers that were identified in terms of demand. So thank you, Shanice.
Thanks, Andrea. So I had difficulty just downloading the template, so I'll just speak to my points. I hope everybody hears me clearly. So in our group, we had Lloyd from Zimbabwe, and the topic we discussed was in terms of demand, the unserved and underserved communities in our respective countries. And we also touched on the barriers for these specific sectors in our countries and their access to insurance. So Lloyd mentioned that in Zimbabwe, the two key areas or underserved communities were smallholder farmers, as well as the informal sector. In terms of the smallholder farmers in Zimbabwe, he mentioned that is a critical agro-based economy in Zimbabwe, and the majority of the population are based in the countryside, and they have limited insurance on climate-based risk. He also mentioned that one of the barriers was limited knowledge on how insurance can mitigate for these risks, and there's a lack of appropriate products in the market for these smallholder farmers. In terms of the informal sector, he noted that the IMF rated Zimbabwe the second highest in terms of having the informal sector in the world, and the informal sector in Zimbabwe contributes to about 60% of the GDP. Most of the insurance to the formally employed markets in Zimbabwe, those markets have regular income versus the informal sector where they have irregular incomes. And that poses a challenge when you're having to pay premiums on a regular basis, whether it be monthly, quarterly, etc. So that was one of the barriers. He also noted that in terms of Zimbabwe, their low disposable income for the mass of the population is also a barrier, due to the population having competing needs. So they may not have enough spare disposable income to actually pay premiums and take up insurance, which is actually quite a critical thing to have in mitigating some of the risks. Then for myself in South Africa, I noted that the two was the informal sector, similar to Zimbabwe, and their access and understanding and knowledge of non-life insurance, as well as the disadvantaged rural communities in South Africa. They are also underserved in terms of life cover and funeral policies. And my barriers in South Africa that I noted was also the lack of understanding of the insurance products in the market. Donald from Kenya in our team noted that irregular income was one of the challenges in his jurisdiction, coupled with the challenges we've seen with the pandemic, which affected the frequency of income and the ability to pay premiums as and when due. He also noted that the rural areas in his country also were underserved, and there is an issue with trust for insurance products. Many of these people in the rural communities have trust issues when it comes to insurance, because there's a misconception that insurance is similar to an investment product, which is not necessarily the case. So when you're not seeing a return from an insurance product, you think that it's actually not something that's worthwhile in having. And he also noted that more information and communication is definitely needed in his country in terms of how insurance works for these specific sectors. In terms of the supply side, he noted that there's limited products in the market which tie in with the needs of the market. He also mentioned that the products are also very complex. There is limitations in terms of the products that are very simplified for their market. And there could be definitely improvements in matching the products to the livelihood of the policyholders in Kenya. Cynthia in Uganda noted very good points as well. The 3 points that she noted affected was the distribution channels in Uganda. The second was on the product development in Uganda, whereby it is expensive if you take into account the cost of actuarial expertise, internal audit expertise. So the cost in developing these products is expensive. And the third one was in terms of product fit to meet people's needs in Uganda. So I'm not sure if anybody in my team has anything to add, or if I just messed up your points, I apologize. But if you have anything to add, please do jump in.
Thank you very much, Shanice. I think that, well, me being in the group before, I think that you touched based on all the points that we discussed. I don't know if maybe anyone outside of the group might have a different demand barrier than the barriers that were identified in the group. So Shanice mentioned knowledge, trust, lack of disposable income, irregular incomes, also some factors in terms of like really tackling or addressing the distribution channels that are generally appropriate for this type of the market. So I really encourage you to share some of your ideas on demand from the groups that were not discussing this barrier in the chat. Now, I think that Shanice mentioned already some elements of supply, so that's a very good transition to jump to group 2. And you were discussing specifically those barriers on the supply level. So if I think that is that you, Mevlase?
Yes, it's me. We were discussing the supply side of things. In the group, it was myself, Robinson from Zimbabwe, and Sharon, also from South Africa. So yeah, I think let's start with from Zimbabwe perspective. One of the things that is actually a supply issue relates to the distribution models that are actually used by the insurers. So there's a high cost structure in the current distribution model, and obviously like there's high commission